Hello everyone. Sorry, just trying to sort some issues out real quick. Alrighty, so my co-caster's not here at the moment. So Team UwU? Let's go with funny anime face, alright? Funny anime face. They banned out the Grimstroke, the Nature's Prophet, the Razor. The Dire team has banned out the Broodmother, the Lich, and the Lifestealer. So this is going to be interesting to see what is actually going to go on. Not entirely sure what kind of strategy they're aiming for, but it looks pretty interesting. Alright, first pick Dazzle as the support for Team Anime Face, or Team UwU. And as far as I remember, this is the UBC Cup.
5 seconds remaining.
So I would like to go ahead and say thank you for coming down and watching the stream. And watching some wonderful Dota 2. I have no idea what the Dire team name is, but we'll call them the Direttes. Or the Dire Dudes. They are patiently waiting, trying to figure out which hero to pick for their first pick. When you take a look at the two supports in this game, well, natural supports, the Lich and the Grimstroke, it is wonderful to see that they are trying to switch things up. Because in pubs, you get to see those all over the place. Still looking for my co-caster. Oracle. Oh, they picked an Oracle. Here we go.
Remaining.
As time is winding down,
Remaining.
they are trying to figure out what to pick. Not entirely sure what they're aiming for. Because, well, 2 picks in with the current bans and everything. It looks like they don't want to deal with the Nature's support teleporting all over the place for ganking. And a Razor. You know, I've seen Razor on the offlane, and that's been really fun. Oh, so very, very fun. So we have a Darkseer for the Dire team with the Oracle. So we're expecting to see the Darkseer in the offlane, in its natural habitat. The Oracle in the safe lane for the carry. And Team UwU went for the wonderful Spirit Breaker. So we got a ban of the Meepo. And personally, I don't mind playing against Meepo. Nor do I mind
10 seconds remaining.
seeing the Meepo on my team.
5
Meepo is just a
seconds
fun hero to
remaining.
begin with anyways. Really silly, but hey.
Radiant team ban.
And the ban goes for the Dire with the Enigma.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Not entirely sure what I'm seeing here in terms of team composition and what the strategies are. But with the Spirit Breaker, they're probably worried. Not worried. They're probably trying to figure out if they're going to be ganking. Because to tell you the truth, the Spirit Breaker is an awesome initiator. So you really want to go ahead and try to ban out those heroes that can stun them right off the bat, or just take them out. And the Radiant team went ahead and banned out the Huskar. With the Dire responding, a Monkey King ban. That seems pretty interesting.
Seconds remaining.
Alright, time is winding down with their so my co-caster is going to be a little late to the party. But you know what? This is how it goes sometimes. So let's see here. It doesn't look like the Dire want to deal with any AoE or team fighting heroes. I apologize about that. Ooh, that's a nice setup there for support. And there is the nasty Viper that everybody just dislikes at the moment. Thank goodness they went ahead and gave him a small little debuff. Well, debuff, sorry, nerf.
10 seconds remaining.
It has been very helpful now in pubs that he got nerfed quite a bit. It no longer stacks with his wonderful AoE. I'm sorry, I'm just blanking out everything right now.
Phantom Assassin.
And there's the Phantom Assassin for the carry for the Dire team, with a responsive and Anti-Mage for the Radiant. When you're the Dire team and you see your supports and the mana pool that they have, you really don't want to see an Anti-Mage on the other side of the team. And they went ahead and banned out the Tidehunter. It really looks like they were going for a theme of, let's avoid heroes that will really screw up team fights for us. Seeing that the Skywrath is there, he's most likely going to be...
10 seconds remaining.
I would throw him in the mid for right now.
5 seconds remaining.
Because it's such a nice little flex pick right there. Because you're trying to decide whether or not you want to throw him as an support or throw him in the mid. And depending on this ban and pick, we're going to see how the setup will be for Team UwU. Team UwU really has a nice little flex pick right there with the Viper as well, because you can throw him in the offlane and make PA's life a living hell, which is most likely going to be the case with the Spirit Breaker offlane with him. Dazzle obviously protecting the anti-mage, so the last pick should go to a mid hero that we can usually see. Personally, I think the Team UwU will go ahead and ban the Nyx assassin just so they can go ahead and pick the OD. OD right here would be actually pretty phenomenal, but it can line up directly into the Skywrath's strong suits of going ahead and silencing and just making the mid laner's life a living hell.
Night Stalker.
Oh, hello, Night Stalker. So it kind of looks like the Viper is going to go mid, Night Stalker in the offlane with the Spirit Breaker. So you got a complete gank force on the offlane, running straight at the PA. That is going to be a nasty, nasty lane. That's just my guess. That's how I'm analyzing it right now in my head.
Admiral Conker.
Choose your hero.
And the last pick for the Dire is the Kunkka. So we'll see how this all plays out. We got the player 0222 with it on Dazzle, Ronnie Baby is on Spirit Breaker, May is on Viper, Bloody Mary the anti-mage, Night Stalker will be Lights, if I'm not mistaken. Then, well, the Oracle is going to be played by, I don't know how to read that other than SKR. The Darkseer will be played by,
10 seconds.
let's go with Borko. Skywrath is going to be played by Biss.
5 seconds.
The PA is going to be the winky smiley face of love. And Kunkka is just going to be Kunkka. Because honestly, I really don't know how to read any of that. We'll see how the setup goes. The Skywrath is most likely going to be going with the offlane with the Darkseer. If not, he's going to be roaming around and tri-laning on bottom. Seeing how there's a Spirit Breaker, a Viper, and a Night Stalker, I think that's going to be the case that the tri-lane will happen for the Dire. Just so they can go ahead and protect the PA. And here we go, folks. And as all tradition goes, let's go ahead and start off the game with a pause. Bathroom break. Let's go ahead and turn off the bathroom first, though. Alright, so I am your caster, Artifazel. At the moment, my co-caster is still relocating. So it looks like my co-caster is back. And it doesn't look like Dota is being kind to him. Okay. I think I have a solution for this. Hold on, folks. Let's see if I can get this solution to work. I unmuted you on Discord. I can hear you perfectly fine. Just give me 1 second.
Night Stalker, Viper, Spirit Breaker, and Anti-Mage. That's a spicy one. We got PA, Conka, Skyrath, Oracle, Dark Seer. Now, I feel like this Conka pick might have been a response to the Anti-Mage. X marks the spot, of course, completely, not completely maybe, but definitely good counterplay against Blink. Not really sure. Skyrath Silence as well. They've got a lot of good alternatives to shutting this guy down. Continuing to speak. Just nothing coming through at all.
Okay, nothing's going through at all.
Hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, I keep forgetting. My friend can't hear me on Discord because I muted myself. Alright, there we go. I completely forgot to unmute myself.
Wonderful.
And I'm like,
sorry, you've been speaking this entire time?
Yeah, I've been speaking this whole entire time by myself with you gone and everything. And then I just realized, oh my gosh, let me go ahead and unmute myself. Okay,
excellent.
Game is going. Camera guy is
business.
on the work.
Nice. Dude, I'm so sorry. I came back. I just dipped out of the room I was situated in, and when I came back, they were setting up for a fencing club or something. So, but we got it under control.
All right, awesome.
Got some action. Perhaps on this map, we're gonna be starting off early with it here. This is really interesting. I feel like these teams might be familiar with each other's play. This is like a pretty coordinated move. Like the bottom half of the map is just going unacknowledged, and I would be super excited to see a level 1, just like a massive fight break out here. I wonder who do you think, which team has the advantage? And it's really coming down here. You can hear the players yelling. This Anti-Mage is immediately a target. Darkseer's running around. Now this Viper is basically just toast here. I don't see how it's happening. They might be able to get the Darkseer trade here. This is just a disaster in the case of Dazzle even. That's pretty bad news for the Radiant. Oh my god, that's a triple kill on the PA. This is not the start they want to see here, and 4 down in the end. Did any of them escape? Yes, this Night Stalker player managed to escape with his life somehow. But this is, we're starting off with a it's not too significant to gold disadvantage. 1k, little bit of XP went down. Still, no one's the bottom, the bounty runes here on the right side of the map. We got a Darkseer running in to clean it up there. Now that was just a brawl we just saw there, huh?
Oh, that was an absolute slugfest that was going on. Oh, look at that. Enemies picked up the bounty rune on bottom.
Yeah, this is definitely support Anti-Mage, I think, is what we're seeing here. So maybe a roaming, maybe a bit of a roam coming out of it.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
No, of course, this Bloody Mary player, he's there's a little bit of renown. This guy's apparently very highly ranked on the leaderboards.
And we missed second blood? No. 20th blood at this point.
6th blood, yeah. They got the Night Stalker, this tri-lane over here around the Spirit Breaker, Night Stalker, Dazzle, and looks like they're fighting, trying to keep this PA suppressed. PA's been a pretty popular pick in this tournament so far from what I've seen. I don't know if you've been watching these games, but it's...
No, I have not been able to.
I see. A lot of big picks have been Lifestealer, PA. Apparently, this Bloody Mary, the Anti-Mage in this game, put on a bit of a performance on Brood last time they played, so I'm excited to see how this shakes out. Now, how do you feel about PA and Anti-Mage, like in the ultra late game matchup, so to speak?
In the ultra late game, I think the PA is gonna have the anti-mage, depending on the item build and so forth. But the anti-mage is like, personally, I feel that the anti-mage is the better one. But from the statistics and analysis, it tends to seem that PA's been just wrecking everything, just because of that crit.
Exactly. Maybe Anti-Mage doesn't get to blink in, blink out, pick the moments that Anti-Mage otherwise wants to look for, just has to stand and fight, and PA might have an advantage there. It looks like some action mid there as well. The Kunkka dying to Viper. Didn't really see how that came out. Yeah, I missed it as well. I just sort of see the kill feed, and it always catches me by surprise. I'm just busy watching all this creep mojo happening in top lane.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I just... While they were going ahead and doing the banning and the picking phase, I kept thinking to myself that they're most likely going to be a PA pick just because of the Oracle that I saw it as the first pick. I didn't want to say it out loud, but there it is.
You called it, man. You should definitely...
It was really... Oh, there goes the Spirit Breaker.
This lane is just... I feel like they have so much just long-range harass in this lane. The Skywrath PA daggers, Oracle just shooting a Kamehameha from time to time, and it's so easy for them to just jump someone. And see right here, this Dazzle is just going so low that there's no way Dazzle can survive at level 2 against that kind of damage.
No, it cannot. Not at all. What is interesting is Spirit Breaker is heading bottom.
Yeah, definitely. I think, and like Darkseer doesn't seem like a very threatening character. I mean, this could just be my impression, but if you think about characters you really just who go out of control and just dominate a game, Darkseer doesn't come to mind, especially not as much as, for example, PA. And they definitely relaxed a little bit, pressuring this PA when they rotated that both the Dazzle and the Spirit Breaker bot for, doesn't seem like they got too much out of it, just forcing Darkseer a little bit further back, maybe Oracle rotated, but nothing substantial, you know. And
oh, looks like we got a charge mid.
Charging PA. Oh boy.
Nope, it is definitely charging towards the top, my bad. Aiming for that PA. It is interesting to see how the teams are just rotating non-stop after that big skirmish and those fierce.
Yeah, they got a taste of blood, you know. And it very almost they must have seen the Spirit Breaker traveling. The Skywrath TP'd well ahead of the Spirit Breaker's arrival top lane. And looks like we're back to a highly populated top lane. Some action mid here. Looks like Viper is really giving them. Trying to juke around a little bit here, but can't escape hasted Kunkka Oracle ganks. Maybe the Oracle dies now to Spirit Breaker. Maybe not. This is riveting. Some auto attacks here. The disarm TV play. This is just the level of presence of mind you expect on finals day here at UBC Esports DOTA Cup, and some action at the top bounty. Nice, looks like Night Stalker's able to snag the rune, but at the cost of his life, and it's not another kill to PA, but PA has definitely now been involved in a lot of action. 5-0-2, that's like a pretty good start. Spirit Breaker escaping by the skin of his teeth, but he's gonna have to navigate around these creeps mid-very, and oh no, Kunkka with the Tidebringer. It's not gonna happen. You can't outrun the seas.
He could not outrun the seas, especially when you have a Darkseer going, hey bud, I'll go ahead and give you a surge. Yeah. Surge your way to victory there, bud. Not only that,
it looks like another charge top here, perhaps. This top lane is there's a lot happening.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders, this could be, so, I mean, just by the scoreboard here, it looks like the Dire team are, yeah, exactly. Like, I wonder if perhaps the Radiant here are trying to just cause a lot of trouble for the Dire carry, maybe sacrifice some of their own life, but in return try and guarantee more of their anti-mage's farm. If this anti-mage gets a really good start, I don't know. He's highly ranked. I mean, that's got to count for something, right? They're going all in on this, but I think it could work out for them if they're able to open enough space without losing too much to the PA.
Oh, it looks like the Anti-Mage is like, I'm out for blood now. Ooh.
That's bold.
Nice little juke. Oh, and then the invis.
And now Anime suddenly is in a lot of trouble. Oh, the stun! Just stunned out of the ult, and Darkseer is getting away scot-free. Or perhaps not. No, looks like the charge is canceled. Meanwhile, action top here, Dazzle saving himself. Now PA's life is on the line. And with this Viper and Night Stalker in pursuit, I do not see PA. Oh, that was almost legit.
Yep. Sometimes those blinks can't just joint. Especially in a basic attack. But yeah, like that play that went on down on bottom was fantastic for the Kunkka. When he did the rotate, came in, was like, okay, I got invis on my bottle. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna help out my Darkseer because he's in trouble. Shows up and torrents in the middle of the Anti-Mage ult to save his life.
So
that was a
clutch.
fantastic play.
You heard
right
the
there.
sound but not it was just a split second too late on the Anti-Mage's part. Oh, and that'll really, I mean, if their game plan was anything like what I was describing earlier, just one early game death can set that so far behind. Now Anti-Mage is retreating into the jungle a little bit, maybe trying to organize some safer farm here. It's a little unclear maybe where his enemies are. PA still farming up, angling for that first item cleave. I feel like that's pretty standard at this point.
Mm-hmm. I would have to agree there. In terms of net worth, though, oof, that death really set the Anti-Mage back a bit. it really did. It really did.
And this is such a crucial time, right? For any hard carry to be farming before you really like have the means to secure a lot of very fast farm. You're so vulnerable, and if you can get choked out at this point, the recovery just becomes impossible. I mean, against the aggressive-ass team, like, if now the Dire kind of rested on their laurels and sat back, it's definitely possible for the Anti-Mage to recover and carry the... Oh, here we have another... This Dazzle is just the subject of so much abuse top. The Grave is online now. Looks like TP will be enough. That was pretty close. Anti-Mage is low bot.
Oh, he is pretty low. Seems pretty standard though. It kind of seems, but it looks like he got the kill on the Darkseer, which is the thing that he really desperately needed, just to get back to match with the PA.
I gotta be honest with you, Bazzy, I missed that kill entirely. Only when you mentioned it did I realize Darkseer was off the map. Ugh. Oh. And the
Heads
huge
up.
gank coming out on Kunkka, but...
Oh
no!
Oh, and puppy paws. Oh, what happened just now? Everybody disconnected. Everybody disconnected.
It is the end of the world here today at Dazzle, the sole survivor. It must have been this ghost ship. It impacted. Spirit Breaker got hit, and the impact was so powerful. It knocked 9 players off of the server. Here we have the Night Stalker player has come joined us in the booth right now. He opened with, oh boy, this is bad, man. What happened? There are 9 DCs right now.
9 DCs all at the same time, as you said. Dazzle, the only sole survivor.
Like all of their computers died.
It seemed more like someone hit the wrong power strip. Not only that, like, take a look at mid and inspect Kunkka. As you zoom around him, you'll see, like, the Spirit Breaker's face. The poor Spirit Breaker's just like, oh god, I'm gonna be dead right now. I'm stunned. It hurts. The pain. It suffers. I'm not entirely sure.
The gank mid, it really turned that around on the Spirit Breaker. I mean, this guy's just level 3. You know, he has 900 HP, but 3 heroes is output. They can output a lot of damage. according to Night Stalker, they tripped a breaker in there. Dazzle is on a laptop with a power source that's somehow not using the same, like he's got a battery. He's running on battery right now. There's some real problems, both in the game for Spirit Breaker and outside of the game for. Yeah.
Oh, this is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't mind. I get a chance to eat some of my lunch over here. Shouts to our sponsor.
Shout out to your sponsors. And who's your sponsors right now?
Oh, I don't know if I can say this officially because we are being hosted by the official UBC Esports Club channel, and so.
So let's not go ahead and go shout out sponsors that we don't know if we're sponsored by.
Exactly. Unless that's how we get the sponsorship. Like, shouts to our sponsors, Lamborghini and.
10 minutes later, cease and desist.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense. It's just like, what do you mean cease and desist? You used our name. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, there's a player in the game. His name is Ferrari.
Not for long.
Cease and desist the usage of the name unless you want to pay licensing.
Yeah, you can't even say the word Ferrari. Every time you say the word Ferrari, you got to mail Ferrari a quarter.
Nah, you just call him Vroom Vroom. Call him Vroom Vroom and all is set. But considering how this matchup is looking right now, and seeing how the presence in lane has been going, and looking at the net worth, if the Anti-Mage did not get killed on bottom, Anti-Mage would be above the PA right now, trailing the Kunko within 200 to 300 gold, which would have been a major issue for the Dire team. Because once that Anti-Mage starts rolling, especially once he gets that Battle Fury, it is extremely difficult to stop. With how the game started out in the beginning, when we saw that massive team fight of death everywhere going on, it kind of seems like the Dire was just going to go ahead and roll the team. Not to mention the PA had a really nice setup going on with the in terms of the gold and the item buying. And I'm trying to figure out. It almost
feels like the PA they could have left that PA alone and maybe rotated maybe some more characters earlier. I mean, they definitely, as you mentioned, they got the Anti-Mage kill. They got a few decent rotations out here. I think you're absolutely right. If you let that Anti-Mage farm up that Battle Fury, you'll never catch him again. It's like this the old meme, you know, like Anti-Mage comes out of the forest like, I'm done farming, and he's like level 25 and has items you've never even heard of and all this shit. Like, now here's the question: do you think the Dire are doing, like, can they continue this kind of, I don't know if I'd call it an aggressive play style. A lot of their rotations are in response to, for example, the Spirit Breaker activity. I feel like they'll call out the charge, send Skywrath, send Oracle. Someone will be there waiting when Spirit Breaker arrives. Do you think the Spirit Breaker ganks are going to continue promoting this high rotation play style on the Dire side that they're really profiting from, or do you think maybe when the Radiant start playing more passively to secure Anti-Mage's jungle, that at that point the rotations will kind of peel off from the Dire as well? They'll stop being as aggressive, as active on the map, and in that way kind of like allow Anti-Mage to farm even more.
Okay, so looking how the Radiant is playing right now, I don't see them stopping their ganks. I really don't. Mainly because that's what's freeing up the Anti-Mage. Because that allows the one-on-one matchup against the Darkseer. And if we take a look at the Darkseer, all he has is Arcane Boots and a Soul Ring. And that's plenty for him to survive in the offline, as long as he doesn't do anything silly and stupid and over-aggressively pushing. And you know, hit the denies. Considering that he died once just now, a few moments ago, against the Anti-Mage, and the Animage is catching up. The Dire really need to go ahead and... Oh, we got Kunkka back. Need to go ahead and start pressuring on bottom so they can go ahead and free up the PA for free farm. Because those ganks from the Spirit Breaker is what's allowing the Animage to to farm freely. And when the Dire is repeatedly punishing those attempted ganks, especially the charges from the Spirit Breaker, it is making a massive dent in the Spirit Breaker's wallet, so he's not going to be that effective later on. And Spirit Breaker does rely a lot on the ganking, not so much as our favorite hero up top, the Night Stalker. Night Stalker needs to consistently open up and gank on anything he sees when it's nighttime, and it's nighttime right now. Unfortunately, he has an offlaner that was with him that is ganking all over the place. So Night Stalker needs to go ahead and take advantage of the lane presence that he has in lane by farming as much as he possibly can, try to deny whenever he can against the PA. It's a very tough matchup for him, but during the day. But since this is nighttime, he does have an advantage. As long as he can go ahead and grab maybe some Crippling Fear. The Void, it helps out a lot. Hunter in the Night is what's really helping him in terms of like ganking ability, but having Crippling Fear is something that is more or less a necessity for him to go ahead and take down the PA, because you void him once, you got the nuke out. You go ahead and do Crippling Fear, all you have to do is just get around him, around the PA can't blink away. But the PA needs to do some real silly positioning for that to happen, for the Night Stalker to line that up correctly. So we'll see how it goes. But really, as long as either team can go ahead and get the farm that is necessary for their carries, I think it's going to come down to who's the better player between the carries. Because the plays that we're seeing right now, mid is, at least from my point of view, and is not going to be that important with the players, because you got a Viper who has a Rod of Atos, which is great. Now we have a Kunkka who's trying to make us, from the looks of it, a Silver's Edge, but right now he has only enough, not enough. He's making the Shadowblade portion of the Silver's Edge right now.
I think
slowly but surely,
definitely...
the players are returning.
Yeah, it's fun watching them kind of trickle back in. I wonder if they even know what the game looked like, because the Night Stalker guy said that they all crashed. So maybe, for example, Spirit Breaker loads in and goes, "Oh shit." I think you're absolutely right. Both of these teams are kind of playing, in a very general sense, the same kind of game, like trying to get active, like trying to open up space for their PA, for their anti-mage to farm, and then hoping that the amount of, like, that they'll just carry, that the hard carry will carry hard. But you raised, I think, a really interesting point about the top lane for the Radiant, how they put both Night Stalker and Spirit Breaker in the same lane. I don't know if this is meta in the current patch, but the fact that those are both kind of heroes that you hope to get a lot of ganks out of, in some sense. You hope they really, like, they initiate the maneuvers. They're running around the map very quickly. They're opening with, like, very strong abilities like Void and Charge, and it feels like leaving one of them in lane to try and, like, play the same role. Like Darkseer, for example, I think plays this kind of role much better than Night Stalker, in terms of just, like, getting those denies, as you said, like trying to prevent the carry from farming freely in lane, just being a nuisance. I wonder if maybe the Radiant are trying to, they have maybe, like, they run into this issue where it's Night Stalker 1v1 against PA on top right now, but then maybe in the mid game they have a lot more ability to run around with the, I don't know, like Night Stalker and Spirit Breaker coordinating ganks and Viper running behind them and that kind of thing. Whereas it seems like the Dire, they have more, like, I don't know, I can't get over, like, the Darkseer definitely, the Darkseer, I think going by kills and deaths in general is, like, kind of difficult this game. I think, oh, the Night Stalker didn't die in that early engagement, but maybe Darkseer did. I've already forgotten. Regardless, I feel like Darkseer plays this kind of, like, passive suppression role against the hard carry a lot better than Night Stalker does, and maybe that will allow PA to get maybe a bit of an advantage that Anti-Mage will have to fight a lot harder for.
I'm trying to process everything you're saying, and I agree with you on certain points. I really do. There's some other points where I'm just like, it could be it can be debated. Because when you take a look at just the net worth, net worth is one thing. But when you take a look at the last hits and the denies, that's where it gets into the nitty gritty. Right now, PA is at 51 last hits, 17 denies. The Anti-Mage is at 63 last hits, 18 denies. So the denies aren't that much of a difference. The last hits are. Right. Considering that you had a tri-lane up top, you really wanted this PA to have just as much, if not more, than the AM. Because you're going for a tri-lane. You are trying to protect your PA, your carry. You're trying to secure his farm. Or, in this case, her farm. I have no idea whether or not the player is a male or female. I'm going by the gender of the hero that they are playing. Don't assume gender. This is 2019. All right. But yeah, like you raised a lot of good points. Yeah, you raised a lot of good points, though.
I feel like a part of this is also the Anti-Mage. This again, like I don't know. I haven't looked at any of these players' profiles, but I've heard there's a little bit of hype surrounding the Anti-Mage player. Maybe they are just completely outskilling. They're like, if they were up against Night Stalker, they'd be at, I don't know, 100 last hits by now.
Ugh, I don't know. All I'm saying now is, and you know what? The hype is probably real for the Anti-Mage, because if you take a look at the levels for all the teams right now, the Anti-Mage is at level 9, the Viper's at level 10. He is the second highest level player on the map right now, and that's with a level 8 Kunkka. And the PA on the Dire side is level 6.
Now, we haven't talked a lot about... Oh, here we go again.
Oh, and the Spirit Breaker just... he dies just as I missed it. Oh, well. We all knew he was going to be dead, but the Kunkka disconnects again.
Yeah, it looked like Kunkka wasn't at the wheel there, standing in the toxin, tanking tower shots, and it's maybe the Kunkka's gonna pay with his life for the premature unpause. This mid matchup, I mean, the especially with the tri-lane and all the rotations going on, stemming from the tri-lane matchup, the mid matchup has kind of gone unacknowledged. I like, what do you think? How do you think this is? We've seen, of course, we saw Kunkka make a couple of pretty nice rotations. Looks like PA is just in some trouble here. Looks like the Night Stalker ult charge coming in. But a blink away to the Oracle will... Now, a lot of backup is coming here on the side of the Radiant. Yeah, it looks like with 4 players here, the PA is not going to get out of this alive, and the Dire just going to disengage. Maybe Oracle's in a little bit of trouble here as the Knight wears out. The Void is on the Oracle, and the charge follow-up is coming through here, but it's unclear whether they'll be able to secure the kill. Now, the self-disarm is an interesting choice, and turning around to root the Spirit Breaker, I don't know if I agree with that. It seems like the Oracle, if they just kept running, it would have been okay, but turning around and trying to get a little fancy with the magic immunity might have not been the correct decision there. I don't know. What do you think, Bazzy?
To tell you the truth, the Oracle was trying to do everything he possibly can to survive. So, and it's not the wrong play there. You're trying to survive as much as possible. You're trying to delay the Spirit Breaker and the Night Stalker and wasting time on trying to kill you. Right. So that way your PA can come back online and go ahead and farm, or your mid. But it is a little questionable. For the fact that the PA wasn't just died. The Kunkka's like, hey, what up? And you know, it just didn't seem right to me. But I do understand the thought process as a support player and as an Oracle to be like, waste as much time as you possibly can.
Of course, yeah. Every second that Night Stalker and Spirit Breaker are on you, that's the second they're not on your PA, and that's really like where this game is headed. An ultimate PA versus Anti-Mage showdown at the 54th minute. Looks like we got a fight coming out mid. Ghost Ship killing half of Dazzle. And that's a nice vacuum on 3 here. It looks like Spirit Breaker's going low. Might be able to escape. Atos on Skywrath Mage, and he's low, and he's dead, and they are chasing the Oracle on the bottom. Viper and Spirit Breaker maybe, and no, they're disengaging, going for the Oracle and PA near the bot rune, and Oracle just helps. PA has the Dark Seer spikes and is considering, it looks like, going in here. We've got Night Stalker ulti out. Night Stalker's playing very far up though, maybe over-committing for this Oracle, but the flight's gonna be enough mobility to get him out of here. Skywrath Mage is back in the mix, and Dazzle is fighting Kunkka on the side not very effectively. It looks like Night Stalker died to PA in the corner, and Viper manages to get away before anything worse happens to him. I think that was a bit of a long sequence there. Who do you think came out on top?
To tell you the truth, the fact that the Anti-Mage didn't die is a big win for the Radiant.
Definitely.
A big win there.
And I think
and in terms of net worth, I'm sorry.
I think the Anti-Mage was involved in 1 or 2 of the earlier kills around mid before the fight kind of spiraled out of control in the bot rune area there. So, just adding on to the net worth there already, like expanding this advantage. I've been watching the hero level since you brought it up, and it's remarkable how Anti-Mage is, you know, getting involved around the map, still preserving his farm and remaining ahead of the mid Kunkka, let alone the Darkseer PA. 3 levels on the PA, and it's only 13 minutes in. It seems like maybe PA should be a little worried. I don't know.
I would be worried if I was the PA, because the Battle Fury just came online for the Anti-Mage, and Anti-Mage is like, okay, farm mode. As you can see from the PA, she is behind. She is really behind.
Definitely.
Not that far behind, but is behind. If she had that Battle Fury right now, that stack that she's working on would have been gone. And
exactly.
Heads up bottom, so smoke ink. Or an attempted smoke ink? Attempted smoke ink. It failed.
Attempted smoke ink. I think that was a reaction to Battle Fury pickup on the Anti-Mage. The second, well, not the second it came out, but at least as soon as you mentioned it, the smoke movement through their forests got underway, and I feel like that's not a coincidence. And you're absolutely right about the PA and being even just a little bit behind, like 500 gold away now from this Battle Fury, but Anti-Mage has had it for what, a minute now, maybe even 2. Like these are the slight advantages that just pile up and become unmanageable by the 50th minute, you know.
And just that minute or 2, Anti-Mage was 3rd. Oh, here comes break out the fight.
Maybe not much of a fight. It looks like Night Stalker just gets eradicated.
It looked like the fight was going to break out right there, and I thought the rest of his team is going to be coming in to try to see if they can initiate a fight and take it. But that didn't seem to be the case. It was more like the Night Stalker, I guess, called off his teammates going, I am dead here. Forget about me. Save yourselves. Just save yourself. They just used the freaking ghost ship.
Yeah, they dropped Ghost Ship, Skywrath ulted on it. I mean, they're really just clean up, and it looks like maybe there will be some defense of this top tower here if Spirit Breaker commits to the charge. They're using the glyph, but Spirit Breaker's getting rooted to the side. All of this just locking down his mobility. The Grave might be enough to get him out of there. The Dire team are barely, I mean, they can just keep going. They got the tower. There might be trying to make a getaway here. You got the wall down, pretty nice position. These are a lot of illusions, and but the Mana Void just absolutely erases Darkseer, and the nice boat expert combo onto the Anti-Mage. Is it enough? It looks like we have Viper, Anti-Mage, Night Stalker, and this Oracle is just toast. Kunkka's able to get away. They got the tower that they came for, though, and PA was not involved this whole time, able to farm off to the side, working away at that with that Battle Fury. Animage, I think, was in the area, though, not really, I'm not really sure, but I don't know if Animage has been as uninvolved as the PA has over these last 2 minutes. Not that that's a bad thing, of course.
No, it wasn't a bad thing at all. When you see something like that, you want to go ahead and take team fights where you possibly can. I really thought they weren't going to go ahead and try to defend the top tower, but as soon as that charge was going in, I'm just thinking to myself, maybe this guy is just doing a selfish play to go ahead and just sacrifice himself to go ahead and try to delay and slow down that push. As it turned out, the Dazzle came in just in time to go ahead and put that shallow grave, which saved the Spirit Breaker. That was extremely clutch. The second that shallow grave happened, the whole entire team on the dire side was not out of position, but they were not in the greatest of sorts because they were all lined up right there, while the rest of the Radiant team was coming down this hill, and it was just absolutely just gnarly just to see what happened there, because it just like panned out where the anime just came in and just started wrecking everybody. Just showed up and didn't care, wrecked everybody, and oh, there's a fight going on.
They found Anti-Mage near the bot
Anti-Mage
shrine here, but they were able, he is not, oh, Phantom Assassin is actually on the receiving end of a lot of damage here, and Kunkka as well, out of mana, and looks like they've revealed him as well. Mana Void, and he's dead. Now Skyrath is charged. Oracle is on the run as well. Nightstalker's coming in. The root is out, but it's not enough. There's a, oh, that's a nice vacuum wall, but it's not going to be enough either. It looks like Skyrath is just going to die at the end of this Oracle ult, and Darkseer's able to sprint on out of there. It looks like they got Oracle as well. I missed that completely. I don't know how Animage must have just right-clicked him, but that was it started out as the gank on the anti-mage. He was just running around farming. They tried to close in on him, but I guess they couldn't get as much damage on him as they needed to in time, because golly, was there a reaction, you know, 4 dead. They really turned the tides here. Now kills are even. Anti-mage is the top level in the game. Take
I just realized,
little look at the
I thought I had a 5-minute delay on stream. Nope, forgot to enable that. Whoopsies. Well, these teams go ahead and just, you know, they're on the system, y'all Canadian or whatever. Y'all
yeah, exactly, peoples. You know.
On the system, no peeking on this stream here.
Yeah, we're going to have to check the Chrome history of all the computers in the lounge after this to make sure no one's tuning into the stream who shouldn't be. But of course, we'd like to welcome anyone else who's tuning into the stream that isn't involved in this game right now. I think it's Team UwU versus Team UBC. Oh, here we go. Another nice... Oh, I think the X-Bow combo is slightly off. They got Spirit Breaker, I think. Now Viper here trying to turn something around on the Kunkka. They've got Night Stalker flying around, really making the most of the nighttime Animage, just putting out damage with the completed Manta style, and the Oracle just getting obliterated. Skyrath getting chased down by the Night Stalker, and the Mana Void, of course, is going to be excellent against Skyrath Mage. Darkseer just dies to auto attacks. This is the nightmare scenario. Bloody Mary, the Animage player, is just doing a lot of damage with right clicks, blinking around, and casting his ult on int heroes, and that's basically all that needs to happen for the Radiant to seal this game away.
I really thought it came down to who was the better carry in this game, because usually when you pick during the banning phase and the picking phase, I really thought the Animage was a good pick, considering they had 3 heroes that had relatively large mana pools. Well, 2 for sure. The Darkseer, not so much. But, you know, let's take a look at the mana pool for Darkseer. 1,021. Well, so he's on par with the Skyrath.
Yeah, that's actually way more than I would have thought.
Well, when you take in consideration that he has the Arcane Boots, that's plus 250 mana. And with the natural gain from the Skyrath, it's expected for him to have like around 1,000 more or less once you get to like level 10. But with the null talismans and the crowns, it just makes sense for Skyrath to go with this build, especially when he's making a Rod of Ados. So hopefully he'll go ahead and get that built to go ahead and have that ability to lock down any players that they're trying to gank.
Oh, looks like Conk is getting caught out. Invis here. There's not much hope for him. Just surrounded by 4 heroes. It's nighttime from Dark's Night Stalker ult. They got the rev. There's no way out of that.
There was no way out of that at all. It was just unfortunate for the Kunkka to be there in the position that he was. The Radiant saw him. They took advantage of it. Dazzle was prepared with the dust, and the Spirit Breakers was attempting to go ahead and try to gank mid, but I think he charged for...
It looks like they're just trying to open up space, maybe bully the Dire out of mid while this Roche happens. I don't know, it's been about 10 seconds since I clicked on Animage, so I was expecting him to have the full, some more items here. Mana Style, Battle Fury, Power Treads, now Aegis. Do you think how far does this next push get the Radiant? Do you think they could go all the way for a high ground objective? Do you think they'll play conservatively, maybe clean up a little bit of bottom lane, get that tier 1 tower? I think definitely the Radiant are on. It's the ball's in their court, so to speak. It's up to them to make the next move here. But how do you think that move is going to play out?
Personally, if I was making a call right here, I would have the AM farm like he's doing right now, because there's more or less a slight off chance that he's not going to be able to get ganked. He's able to take on a few heroes if he ever gets caught out. If the whole entire team's there to gank him, that's going to be an issue. Go ahead and push with priorities, like just as the Dazzle called out, pushing bottom, and look for that area over here to see if you can get some vision there.
Right.
You know, pushing, because they already got the first 2 towers in mid, the first tower in mid and the first tower up top. Your big objective right now is bottom. So that's what I would be calling. I think the next step from this point onwards is to go ahead and try to get a pick off. I don't see them hitting high ground unless they get 2. But if they're pushing from the bottom, it's going to be tough for them to go all the way to the high ground. But I can see them.
I don't know, man. This is like a lot. I feel like if the Dire here organize their defense poorly. Now, of course, the Radiant might stop pushing, definitely, and that's, you know, that's the conservative play. But the Animage is just seriously like level 20 right now. The Dire Oracle is level 6. I think they're definitely willing to give it a shot. This is what I was thinking though. I think if the Dire organize their defense poorly and they lose 1-2 people here,
this is going to be a very tough defense. Oh gosh. No, I have no idea what the Spirit Breaker was doing there. Oh no, the Dazzle, Wazzle.
Oh, they're gonna get the Dazzle as well.
He got vacuumed right on top of that cliff.
It's like a very nice vacuum though. That's like that's a pretty good play.
Oh, I love vacuuming players on the top of cliffs. It's like, what are you gonna do now? You got a TP if you don't have a blink. Oh, I'm sorry. You want a TP? Stun. You're stuck there. Go ahead and try to do something now. Oh, where's your Force Staff? You're trying to get it out to you? Oh, we killed your courier. Good luck now.
That sounds awful.
Oh, it is awful. It's more awful when it happens to you. So, the questionable play that we saw there up top, up in the bottom lane, is the fact that we had a Spirit Breaker stuck in this corner. No idea why he was there, but he got caught out and got murdered. He tried to charge away.
They noticed. Yeah.
Hi, Spirit Breaker. What up, buddy? You're dead. But take a look at this net worth, folks. This Animage is like 5k ahead. If you want to get really exact, 4.7 more or less. But here comes the Basher for his build. My god, I mean, like, I saw the butterfly and I'm just like, holy smokes, this guy's just gonna go on a murdering spree. The interesting thing to me is that he didn't go ahead and queue up the MKB, because with how fast the butterfly is, it's almost not necessary for him to have it. But if you're gonna build a basher, you really don't need it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if maybe there's something I've overlooked, some solution to PA, maybe some, like Viper, for example, they're going to rely on the break or something like that, because it feels like MKB is pretty decent against PA in most cases, and that's like an item that Anti-Mage, yeah, benefits from, I guess. Maybe there are better items, maybe, for example, the Abyssal, BKB, those are more important for other reasons, and like, maybe in theory, like in any team fight, PA is gonna, like, it's not just gonna be 1v1 like anti-mage right-clicking PA who's right-clicking anti-mage, but there will be teammates around to keep the PA, you know, just use magic damage against her, for example. But I wonder if that's something. I mean, there's no way, like, oh, it looks like a fight around mid tower here. Spirit Breaker, as usual, caught in the middle of things. BKB on the, oh, that was a nice centaur on the Viper into the wall, and Darkseer is really maneuvering around this fight, but Anti-Mage is in the back. Almost Manta dodges the boat combo and just starts using abilities beyond godlike. I didn't notice that. These right clicks are doing quite a lot of damage, getting the bash on the Skywrath and now turning to fight the Kunkka. This is kind of what I mean. Night Stalker's there, and PA is going, looks like Night Stalker is going to, yeah, die to the PA here. And it seems like Viper died as well, somewhere in the back, probably to PA. The Dire are able to defend this mid-tier 2 tower, but Anti-Mage once again just gets 3 kills, barely, I mean, is already back full health, most of mana. I think, yeah, probably they used the Shrine for that, but I don't see the solution to Anti-Mage. They dropped the boat combo on him. Maybe they could have used Skywrath ult, for example. It looks like Night Stalker did a good job keeping the Skywrath silenced and docile, but it really, the Anti-Mage just keeps widening this gap.
The Anti-Mage is widening the gap, but in terms of the team exchange, that was not what you wanted to see if you were the Radiant. What you wanted to see was to go ahead and just pick off everyone that you can as fast as possible. Go ahead and get a few people murdered. In terms of the prioritization in that team fight, I think it was a mistake that they need to go after the Oracle first, because that's what really helped keep a lot of their team fight going and alive. Spirit Breaker getting caught out like that initially wasn't helpful at all. That Rod of Ados just came in clutch for the Dire, and here comes another team fight.
And looks like PA immediately with the BKB. BKB right-click carry fight, a large vacuum wall combo, and Skywrath just shooting around to the side. Spirit Breaker is the first to go down here. Somehow everyone is still quite healthy. Dazzle is next. This is just a mess. Night Stalker, oh, it looks like Anti-Mage up to the side, ulting the Skywrath. PA died somewhere in there. Oracle in 3, wow. That's a rampage for the Anti-Mage. That is not, I mean, speaking of what you don't want to see happening in a fight, that was a buyback on the Oracle, actually, a dieback, I should say. This is, somehow it looks like the Anti-Mage disengaged from that large cluster of units and started working around at the edges of the fight, and just was able to do a lot of damage to the Dire support lineup. Did you see how PA died? I completely missed it, to be honest.
Let's see here. She died over here near the end of the fight. She was one of the last few heroes to die before the Oracle came in and was like, oops. Like I was trying to point out, you know, you prioritize the Oracle first and good things will happen. And that's what happened, you know, and that was not a good thing for most of that team.
Boat. It looks like Viper's already low, but Anti-Mage is just taking the fight to Darkseer.
That's
what a grave Viper is able to turn it around before doesn't die, actually. Oracle disarmed the Manta out of the disarm, and it looks like Oracle's gonna die once again in 5 hits to Anti-Mage. Now this is a pretty bad position that the Dire found themselves in. PA is up right now. Kunkka and PA are left with the task of defending their base. I don't think the Radiant are gonna be backing off now. And Kunkka just, PA and Kunkka around the edge here. The Atos on Kunkka, this is not good, and PA getting hit by the charge. Conka's down. PA is stunned with the bash. I don't see how she gets out of this. Wow, that was a nice crit against the Dazzle, but it's not enough. The Toxin looks like a buyback on PA. This is going to be perhaps the last effort. They've got 4 heroes to defend, and the Radiant are not backing down. Viper's starting at half health. Let's see what happens. It looks like Spirit Breaker's just going to die immediately, but Skywrath is going to go on the side of the Dire, and Oracle, of course, dies to the Anti-Mage. Viper is still somehow alive, just running around. PA and Dark Seer unable to take him down, and Anti-Mage just gets there in time. Almost the second Rampage here for the Anti-Mage. Now I think they can just go in. Yeah, this is GG. That's incredible. The Anti-Mage, really, they just like kept building up that farm advantage until there was nothing the Dire could do at the end there. That was like 4 straight minutes of engagement, just whenever the Anti-Mage stopped getting locked down and just killed everyone.
Yeah, it was amazing to see that. So it was Team UwU with the victory against Team Overview Dire Team Name.
Dire Team Name.
That was a GG.
Wow.
Wow.
Team UwU. That was exciting to watch. But
that was exciting to watch.
It really did come down to those, the Anti-Mage doing so